so much for joining us on Shape Your Life.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
When did you discover that Mel had autism?
Well, it was when he turned 18 months. There were a few signs that I picked up on, and yeah, so I self-diagnosed him.
What are those signs you picked up on?
It started off, I would say, in about 72 hours that I noticed he actually lost interest in playing with the toys that he usually did. So it was a lot of stereotypical behavior, so lining up toys, stacking toys, that kind of thing. Lack of communication, so he lost all his speech or little verbal speech. Lack of eye contact, and just lack of social interaction. He didn't want to be touched or held or that kind of thing. So, I mean, those were the red flags that I know to be autism, yes.
So when you identified these red flags, how did you feel and how did your family deal with this situation?
Well, obviously it was stressful, and I think before you think about yourself, you need to actually sort out what's going on with your child, and get the intervention that he needs as fast as possible. So that was what I did, and I focused on, and yeah, I mean, I think if you look at him today, he's actually done very, very well.
No, he has. I mean, when I walked in, high energy, hi mom, greeting
Yes.
you. So verbally, he's on par. He
Yes.
is communicating
Yes.
and he's engaging.
Yes, and he had lost all his speech as we know it. He
Wow.
became silent.
So what treatment did you then bring into place for him once identified?
Yes. So obviously there's no silver bullet to treating this. There's no one cure. It has to be a multimodal approach. So for me, I actually targeted the speech. So it was speech therapy, occupational therapy, sensory integration, occupational therapy as well, because there's a lot of sensory issues that go with autism. The diet as well, so try to look at sensitivities in terms of gluten and lactose and that kind of thing. Nutritional supplementation, that also played a big role. So everything as a combined multimodal approach, it worked well for him.
And when did he come to care?
He came to care shortly before the age of 3, so I would say he was just over 2.5. He was one of the first full-time learners at care. These kind of integrated centres are few and far between in South Africa. The facilities are really, we don't have them here, which is why a lot of the parents that have the means go overseas. So when care opened, he was one of the first full-time learners here. And a lot of the parents were actually skeptical. They didn't not want to enroll their kids into a full-time program. But I felt early intervention was key, and early intervention being intensive is even more important, and that was critical. So that's why I said we either do everything or we do nothing.
Did you as a parent and a family receive any counseling to help deal with this and emotionally prepare you for what's coming ahead?
No, I think that's greatly lacking. I mean, when you have a child like this, you become a researcher, an avid researcher. You read everything, you listen to everyone, and you just look for the best way forward for your child. Because each child on the spectrum is very different. Each child has different needs, and you need to just optimize them to be the best that they can be. And with all of these different approaches, different kinds of therapy, including equine therapy, I did do a lot of horse riding with him. So, it all works together to give you a good result.
Why is equine therapy so interesting and unique when it comes to dealing with children with autism?
I think, just the relationship with the actual horse, being on the horse, and actually it gives them a positive feedback in a way. The occupational therapists will tell you, and sensory integration occupational therapists will tell you that it gives them some kind of positive feedback. That motion of being on the horse, yeah.
And are there other people in your family that have autism?
No, he's the first one, and yes, it's the first one in our family. So we've all learned, how to deal with it.
What would your advice be to other parents out there when it comes to accepting that your child has autism and then proactively dealing with it in the right way?
Well, I would say get out of the space of denial, firstly. Find out what's going on with your child and try to get him or her the help that they need, so desperately, and as soon as possible. Just try to forget about yourself and just get the child, because you're the advocate for the child. You're there to actually take care of them in the best way possible. So just do it.
I wish him all the best for the future, and to you and your positivity and your passion for your child. I think it's palatable. And the message given out to other parents out there, let them receive it, own it, and get help when needed. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
It is documented that in South Africa, 1 in 99 children are at risk of suffering from autism. But we have learned from today's show that it's not the end of the world. Simple treatment and lifestyle adaptations from you, the parent, for your child is what will help treat your child to live a safe and healthy lifestyle. From me, Ronald Abvajee, and the Shape Your Life team, see you next week.